Hello. Nice to see you. To see you, nice. So welcome to the live stream. If this is your first live stream, then I will tell you how it works. You can ask me questions through Skype. My Skype address is Lisa Cairns 12. You can find that in the box below. And you can send me a friend request and send questions. Sometimes I get lots of questions, so I don't get round to answering them all. And if that's the case, it's nothing personal. If I don't reply, and you can send it again in the next live stream. I do these talks every Sunday and Wednesday at 6 p.m. French time. What else? If you want to come to an event with me, the next retreat I have is in August. That's in where is that? Northern Germany. I'm really having mind blank tonight. I'm like, oh. So that's in Northern Germany, and that is the 9th to 16th of August. And what I really like about this is there's a beautiful spiritual spa who's got a really nice spiritual community around it. And it's also open, so you can stay there or you can stay somewhere cheaper. You can go anywhere you like. And because of the way it's set up, if you're on low income or you're on benefits or you're a student, then I can offer you a discount as well, not on the accommodation, but on the talks. So because the talks aren't connected to the retreat center, then I have more say, which is nice. So you can find that on my website. That's in August. And just from the organizers' point of view, not the organizers, the gentleman that owns the retreat center, Bill, he just says that eventually he's reserved a certain amount of rooms at the hotel for participants, and he offers people that book through him and are coming to my retreat a discount. So it's a really good price, but he can only keep them open or keep them reserved for a certain amount of time. He eventually, I'm not sure when, but he has to release them to general public. It's a big hotel and he can't hold them forever because it's peak season, it sells out. So if you are planning to stay at the hotel, there is a time limit on how long he can reserve the rooms for you or for this group, just to let you know. So it's good to book them early. And there's really good prices. It's a really beautiful, I think 4 or 5 star hotel with organic food and really lovely views near the Baltic Sea, natural swimming pool, sauna, and he's found some really cheap prices of accommodation nearby the hotel, so you can still use the hotel and eat at the hotel. It's only a couple of 100 meters for people, and then it's a bit more expensive staying in the hotel, but it's really well priced in August in Europe. And I had some people telling me it was too expensive, but for me, like one of the rooms is 400, I think, and 10 or 60 euros, I forget which one it is, for 3 meals a day and a single room for 7 nights accommodation, or is that 6 nights? I can never work it out. 7 days, 6 nights, or 7 nights, 8 days. I never can work it out. You have to work it out, the dates. But to me, Europe is so expensive in July and August, and so to find that in peak season near the coast, to me, is a really good price. But it will run out. That doesn't include talks, though. Talks are separate. That just includes your accommodation. But being somebody who books these retreats often and is often looking for hotels and looking for a wide range of prices, So people with money can stay in luxury accommodation. I think it goes up to like €1,000 for the week in Bill's place. But the basic one, single room, €410 to me, with 3 meals a day, organic meals a day, is really a phenomenal price. So yes, I was very pleased with that. Bill has been coming to my talks for quite a few years, and it's really lovely that he offered this. It's not easy finding places in Europe in the summertime. So that's that. I also am going to do one talk in the United Kingdom in July. I'm just negotiating with the people at the venue as to the date, but I think it will be something like the 20th or something, around the 20th in Notting Hill. I just have to find out. Let me have a look at the email. The 20th of July, just for one day in London. And I don't so often do talks in London. So you're very welcome to join. That will be up on my website within the next week when I've confirmed the dates with the venue. I'm really struggling with words tonight. This might be a difficult talk. I went to the shop earlier and I had to speak in French about appliances. It was an appliance shop, and I just was like blank. I couldn't even get out I'm like, it was really horrendous. I was trying to say I have this model, and I was like, I know how to say I have. It's so funny. I'm just having one of those days where my mind is blank of words. It's blankety blank. A delivery. Blankety blank. Yes. So at the beginning of my talks, I always like to sit in silence for a little period of time before I start talking. I get my parcel. Got a gift. Delivery. It's this new thing. You can go download an app on your iPhone and you can get a delivery of a hot water bottle. Dun dun dun! Let me put his little head down so you can see it properly. His little head. Delivery of the hot water bottle. It's an app. They come right to your door. So what was I saying? So yeah, I always like to sit in silence. Let me tell you why I like sitting in silence. Because, to be honest with you, even though I do these talks twice a week, and I really enjoy doing the talks, and I really sound like I talk non-stop, but you see a certain extract, you see a certain amount of me, and I also feel like this subject is way too intellectual, and you listen to me on YouTube and you go from one talk to the other and you think that I'm a real supporter of always talking and always being in the intellect and deconstructing you through the intellect. But actually, when you come to a retreat or when you spend time with me, you'll see that I'm not actually really heavily addicted to the internet, maybe to the internet. And I think we overuse it way too much as humans. And when I hold retreats, I always do like a session of just silence, of just sitting. Well, not always actually, sometimes there isn't time. But I always start my talks normally wherever I go with silence. It's overuse the intellect, and it's beautiful. Like if you keep listening to the talks again and again on YouTube, it does have this opening effect because you're listening to this subject repetitively, and there's something being revealed that's not intellectual and not to do with you. So there is some benefit to it, but also there is just the benefit of like not acting out all your seeking energy and all your natural patterns and habits, and just letting life unfold. And also I'm a big fan of like looking into the body and what the body is saying. So this is what the talk's based on today. The body is the world. Like the way you experience the world is through the body. So the body and world are one thing. So all this intellectualization and ideas, that's all in time. That all goes in imagination of what's not here, what could be here, what you're going to get, what you have had, what you want. And it's always in past and future. And in one way, you could say the intellect is never here, but the body is always here. The feelings, the sensations are always here, are always present. And then ultimately you could see that the thoughts are always here, but the thoughts are always implying something other than here. But right here, right now, in the feelings, there is nothing. There is nobody, but yet there is everything. So you could say the body is the world, or the world is the body, but we perceive through this instrument. But now to some silence. So hello. Oops. If you've just joined, welcome. So the talk today, just let me remind myself of the title, is The Body is the World. The Body is the World. Non-duality with Lisa Cairns. So what does that mean? So wherever you go, whatever you do, there's always something that you take with you. And we can call it presence, we could call it consciousness, we could call it that amness, the beingness, the sense that this is, what is, this moment, now. So whatever you do, wherever you go, there's always this moment. And this moment can't leave you. You can't get out of it. You can't be like, hang on, I'm just going to switch off from this moment and be somewhere else. Be in the future or be in the past. You're always in this moment. Maybe you daydream of the future or maybe you daydream of the past. But ultimately you can only ever be here. That's only a daydream. And you never get to turn it off. Like from the moment you wake up in the morning to the moment you go to sleep at night, you're always here in this moment. Like, me, 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 me. Even if you're like walking through the forest and there seems to be like forest and scenery passing you by and you seem to be going to new places and new adventures, you're still always here. Right here in this moment, in presence, in aliveness, in consciousness, in amness, right here. So no matter where you go, no matter what you do, it's always this, no matter what. And to me, that's it. That's all these teachings, non-duality is trying to teach you, is a reminding of who you are, which is this moment. What you assume is that you are a body that's in relationship with the world. So you assume that you're a subject and the world is an object that you're in relationship to. And that there is distance and space between you. And what you feel is that you're always moving from moment to moment. So you've left the next moment and you're moving into the next moment, you're moving into the next moment. And the next moment comes with different scenery or different experiences. So walking from the kitchen to here, your mind tells you that the walking in the kitchen and then walking to here is a different moment. You're in a different time. And so you assume that you're walking through a world that's still there when you're not conscious of it. So that's the assumption that our mind tells us. Our experience tells us something completely different. Our experience, our direct experience is that all there is this, is what's happening, this moment. So beyond our imagination, beyond what we know intellectually, what we've learned, what we think about, what we imagine, your direct experience is here, this is it. But we overlook that and we believe what our mind says. We believe that there was a last moment that you've come from and now you've arrived in this moment. And you really believe that there's still a kitchen or a room outside this room, even though you can't ever look at it. Even if you you run and jump and quickly look out that door, it doesn't mean that you've caught it. You'll never know what exists when it's not existing. You'll never know what's there when you're not looking at it. Your experiences, if you come back to your direct experience without thinking, without ideas, without presumption, your direct experience is that it doesn't exist. There is no room out there. There is no world out there. And that's incredibly simple. There's only this. That's what animals are dealing with. Even though they have some form of intelligence which is managing some form of timeline, they're only ever dealing with this because they can't think or imagine something else. Their brain isn't big enough to be able to create these complex images and timelines and cause and effect. They're kind of very much just in whatever they're doing. And then there's some form of instinctual patterns which carve their way through life. But in the moment, they're only doing what they're doing. They can't imagine that in the last moment they were doing something else. I can assure you that Khaleesi is just dealing with life. My dog Khaleesi is just dealing with life as it presents itself. So when she's chewing her bone, that's all that's happening. She's not like, I wonder if there's another dog on the other side of the fence chewing a bigger bone than me. Have I got the biggest bone in the world? Or is it small? Am I lucky or unlucky? Big bone, little bone. Big bone, little bone. Am I better or worse? Better or worse? She's not thinking about that. She's like, and that's her experience. Completely in the chewing, in the moment. So why is it that humans take what they think over their direct experience? Why is it that they believe more in what they think and what they know intellectually than what their direct experience is? I think, my feeling is that is what creates all suffering in humanity, that we believe that thinking is more real than reality. And we take thinking as king, as God, as higher, and our experience is absolutely irrelevant. It's like, you just sweep that under the carpet and ignore it. I also think that in some way, we've become so dependent on thinking that we kind of feel we're safer if we live in a land of thoughts than if we just trust this moment and drop into the body and let life act us rather than our mind and our thoughts and our self-image always trying to control it. And I think that's untrue. I think it creates a lot more suffering, a lot more insecurity, and a lot more problems. I think that most humans in this life really suffer, but because fortunate or unfortunate, because I got into this subject so young, I can't really remember what it was like to be without this subject. So I don't really socialize with people that aren't into this subject. I'm not really interested in socializing with people that aren't open-minded, and doesn't mean that they have to be into this subject, but at least questioning their perception of reality. So I don't really know, but I suspect, and from looking around and observing, that I think that most of humanity is really, really suffering. They're really in a lot of stress, but they might not know that because they're in their story of what's happening, and their story of what's happening might be not, more than likely, is not telling them that they're in stress. It's more than likely telling them that it's because this is wrong, or that's wrong, or you've got to do this, or it's going to happen, or that's going to happen. So they're most probably really deluded to what they're actually experiencing. So how come it is that I say, so back to the point, that the body is the world? So if we come to our direct experience, so if we take this experience, what's happening as king, rather than what we think's happening as king, all there is sensory experience. So you know what's in front of you. So I'm looking at cliff, I'm looking at rain, lots of pluie, tree, arbre. Where's that cow? This is a very challenging time of my French learning. I feel like I'm mastering a lot of words, but sometimes they get muddled up. Arbre. Tree, rain, window, computer, light, myself. I can see myself in the computer. There she is. I can see my water bottle and my computer. So that's a sense. So everything you see is a sense, is your sense. Like you're not seeing outside of your seeing. You can't see what's not here. You can imagine, but in physical realm of sight, you can't see what's not here. And we assume that the seer is inside the brain and that you're a seer, you're some sort of soul or entity inside the brain, and that you're controlling all of this and that you're looking at things that are out there. But if you come back to your direct experience, there is simply seeing. So that you're looking and the looked at are one and the same thing. And there's not actually somebody or something that's looking at these. It's empty. There's nothing where it starts. Like, so if you point the finger this way and go that way, there's no back to it. There's not actually something in there that's looking out. And there's not a place in the world where looking stops. It's like looking stops here and the object starts here. How would you see it? The seeing has to see all of it. So you could say in sight, everything is inside your looking. Everything is inside your looking. The same with hearing. Actually, it's not even inside. It's just that there's no boundary. It's just there. Sight and the looking are the same. But we'll say inside just for those that need a bit more imagination. Or for those which they're listening from their second language. Like, my God, I can't imagine how you listen to non-duality in your second language. That is really respect. I really respect anybody out there listening in a second language, and I apologize that I sometimes go so incredibly quick. Learning a second language now, I'm realizing it is really, really something to learn another language. Okay, back to the point. So hearing, let's have a look. In the direct moment, the direct experience, where is the difference between the hearing and the heard? Like, where does your hearing start? And where does, say, the rain, I can hear the rain, where does that start? So my hearing starts, my hearing ends, and the rain begins. Or is it that my hearing and the rain are one and the same? And come to your direct experience and experience that and see that. Don't take my word for it. Do you ever hear something outside of hearing? Therefore, everything is inside hearing. Everything is hearing. So the body and the world are one and the same. The body is the world. Okay, smelling. I currently can't smell anything. Okay, my hand smells of rubber from Okay, my hand smells of rubber from the hot water bottle, but that's a real stretch. I feel like my jumper smells more, but I won't sit there and okay, so rubber. So then if you shut your eyes to smell something, what is the difference between, in this moment right here, between a smell and the smelling? And who is smelling it? Who is smelling it? So now let's go to feeling. Feeling. Boo boo. Feeling. So now your bum is on the seat, your back is on the seat, your feet is on the footrest, or the feet are on the floor. So now if you shut your eyes, Where is that point between the feeling and the floor, or the feeling and the chair? How do you know the difference between your skin and the chair? And who is experiencing that? Who? Who let the dogs out? Who? Who let the dogs out? Who? Okay, what other senses are there? We've done touch, we've done sight, we've done smell, eating. Oh God, that one becomes orgasmic. So please take your drink. You can either take a cold drink or a hot drink, or if you have food, you can also do it with the food. Place the drink in the mouth, like so. And where is the difference between the taste and the drink? How do you know the difference in the experience? My gran used to do that before she died. She had dementia. And whenever she ate or drank something before she died, she shut her eyes like it was really orgasmic, like, and took in every moment of it. It was really sweet. She didn't die so long ago, my gran. I think it was 2013. She was 95. And she got dementia in the last few years of her life. I didn't know her very well. She lived up in Scotland and I just didn't see her that much. But she became super sweet when she got dementia. She wasn't one of the people that gets very angry or bitter or has lots of psychological issues. She just went really mellow and really sweet. She'd always had a lot of stress throughout her life. And when she got dementia, she just totally gave up and became like a child. I found it very endearing. She was like a completely different person. I remember I took her up some chocolates when I went up to see her, or some biscuits. And while we ate the biscuits, they had to be silent. She was just like, and she just totally loved every moment of it. So the senses. So then, okay, we could say that the mind, the imagination, is a sense as well. So notice with all your thoughts and all your imagination, they indicate a past, they indicate a future, and they're imagining about all things that aren't here. But if you really look at thinking, it's always happening here. It's not actually talking about what you think it's talking about. And it's not actually fact. We believe that what we think is fact. It's something that's coming and going. It's coming and going in this. So even the thinking is here. But we're so attached to it and identified with it, we really think it's real. We really think that the idea of the room next door is real. That's the belief within society that is real. We can't see that it's only a thought and an image. That's not truth. What were humans like before they developed this complicated language, before they could say there is a room outside? Maybe they could imagine it, but they wouldn't be able to have really complex thoughts about imagining if they're better or worse than the room outside. Is this better or not better? How would they do that if they can't speak? So it doesn't mean that what we think and what we speak about is reality. It's just thoughts coming up. And this is the most amazing part, is who you think you are is a thought. So you think that you are a thought. So you're somebody that was born on a certain day, that's got certain qualities, that feels certain things, that has particular stories, that's done certain events. has a certain amount of money, has a home, lives somewhere, has a nationality, yaki, 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 and you think that's you. But notice that just comes and goes in you. That's not the fix. That's not who's looking out. That's always changing. Another thing of who we think we are is we think we're the chooser inside the head. So we think that we're the one that's got the ability to choose things and to move attention. But actually, if you really look at it and really study it, you'll see that there's just a description of choosing. There's a description of moving attention. And then again, you've identified with that and taken it to be reality, that that's the way things are. Well, that's not the way things are. So the body and the world are the same. Okay, I've spoken a lot. I shall take some questions. Hello, Natalie. Okay, hello, Lisa. My name is Natalie, and I watched a few meetings with you, and I like it a lot. I love satsang. I would love to join your next meeting if possible. Maybe I just write it now. It's about root chakras. Root chakra. During last session, I understood that you said that it's totally possible to be fully awake to the truth and have chakra malfunctioning. And I have the impression that my root chakra needs help tremendously. And I feel like this evolution in my case is going upside down from heaven to earth. And this earthly part is the most hard to pass through. It's like stuck and something can't move further. I even started to do group therapy for adult children of dysfunctional families, maybe in order to bring up the traumas to light of consciousness and be free from it completely, like purification. It is obvious that everything is happening to me, and simultaneously I would like to just live freely. If you could please share your impressions about that, this would be really great. Thank you. Thanks, Natalie. Is it Natalila? I don't know how you say that name, Natalila. Thanks, Natalia. So, the root chakra is about grounding to earth and about feeling rooted to here, not drifting off into the clouds. It's also being able to survive, so it's also connected to survival. Groundedness. Out of balance, I think it can be a lot of fear, ungroundedness. Feeling like you can't survive, that you can't make it as a human. But I think most importantly, it's about groundedness. So why is it that you feel that your root chakra is out of balance? Like, what happens in your body? I just have to wait for her to answer. It can sometimes take a few moments to catch up. Would you like to talk, Natalie, Leela, on the phone, or just write? It's okay if you just want to write. So some people think that that these base chakras are less important in spirituality, and I think they're super important to all be more balanced. Yeah, just write it now. But you can be free without your chakras being balanced, because freedom is right here and it's beyond the feelings in the body. Like the chakra system, I sort of mix non-duality with the chakra system, because I think the chakra system and psychology and all these things are really helpful to understand what's happening in the body. But I don't think that awakening is the movement up of the energy in the body to consciousness and being connected like that to consciousness. I think that that's something that happens in the body that's healthy for the body, and it's about the body, mind and soul. Like it's a way of getting more energy in when your chakras are moving more easily and the energy is coming down into your body. This makes you more balanced and more healthy on the human level, and it's a connection to the energetic levels of life and to different levels of life in the human world, or in this world, this reality, or this dimension, whatever you want to call it. But non-duality, the non-dual part, is that who you are is this consciousness that's right here. And this consciousness is here and free, whether your chakras are balanced or not, whether you're connected to something higher or not. It's right here. So you're looking at the computer screen and you're hearing my voice, and you assume that you're a separate entity inside the body listening to me. But my words and my image and my sounds are appearing inside of you. It's like a love affair. So this big orgasmic love affair. But at the moment, if your chakras are really out of balance, what happens is you really contract inside the body and you really feel like you're a solid entity inside the body, and you feel uncomfortable, and then you're always making up stories of who you are, where you want to go, what you don't want to experience, and there's lots of mental noise, so you feel like you're this entity inside the body. So Natalia says, I'm crying now, should I write it? I don't know how to answer. I feel you feel me. I'm very frightened, like I can't really exist in this life, body, world. I see. Yeah. So it's also sounds like it's not just your root, but you also your sacral chakra. So, and also your solar plexus as well. I would say it's all three. Like the power, the sense of being empowered on the human level. The sense of feeling like you deserve to be here, that feeling of strength, feeling of groundedness in the root chakra, but also the feeling of strength in the sacral chakra, the feeling of that you can do this, that you're here, that you're strong, that life will work out for you, which is more in the solar plexus. So all of these can be out of balance. So a good thing to do is on the more psychological level, so on the thinking level, is you want to see, because all thoughts are associated with chakras, so each chakra contains particular types of thoughts and thinking, and particular feelings. It also, each chakra is related to particular health of the body. So you want to look at all of that like holistically. So you want to look at disease, your health, your physical health, your emotions, and your thoughts. But what is really good to do is to try to connect your thoughts with your chakras. So each chakra has particular thoughts. So I can tell when somebody starts telling me their problem, where they're out of balance, just by the types of thoughts that they're having. And sometimes it goes between a couple, but when they tell me their story, it's pretty obvious to me where in their body they're weak. And normally when I get them to put their attention there, there's a lot of pain there. So if you have disbalance in your sacral chakra, then this is a feeling that you're not strong, that you're not strong enough, that you won't make it in this life, that you're weak, that things are going to be a problem. It's anxiety. Like it can be absolute lack of sexual interest, like lack of the idea of sexuality or intimacy, a cut-offness from it. It can also, when it's out of balance, be over-sexuality, like too much excitement, too much stimulation by sexuality. Imbalance, that the sacral chakra can be love, intimacy, feeling like you deserve to be here, feeling strong, feeling powerful, feeling like you can do this life. Maybe that's not it, more strength. It's a feeling of strength. And then when you go down one more, it's a feeling of groundedness. So you want to connect what types of thoughts. So let me give you an example. So say if you're having anxiety about something. So say if you're having anxiety about your work and you fear something going wrong and there being a disaster. That could be the solar plexus, but it could also be the sacral. So you want to see what types of thoughts you are having and then take it down to the chakra. Say if you're having lots of thought about heartbreak, about love, about falling in love, about who loves you or doesn't love you, about not feeling worthy, then it's going to be in the heart. If you feel really out of control, so you're having thoughts like, this is going to be really out of control, nothing's going to work out for me, bad things are going to happen, you can't control someone, like wanting to control someone, wanting to control events, feeling like you can't do something, so feeling overwhelmed by something, maybe lots of stress. Stress can also be the chakra or the sacral chakra or the solar plexus. So look at what your stories are telling you, and I promise you every story is associated to a chakra. Every story, and we take them all to be true. We've all got the same chakra set up, and there's lots more chakras in the body, but these are just the main chakras, and we take them all to be true. So when we start having like fearful thoughts about work, we think there's really a problem at work. There could be a problem at work, but it is the way it is, and like the fear should come if there's a problem at work just to fix the problem and then it's over with. But if you're having repetitive thoughts about fear of work or fear of death or fear of illness or fear of a tragedy happening, then I promise you it's the sacral, the root, or the solar plexus that's out of balance, and you just need to see where those where it resonates. And the way that you do that is you start saying the basic thoughts like I'm afraid, I'm afraid, I'm afraid, or I can't do it. So the basic thoughts of the chakra. So you start saying things. So the solar plexus, it would be, I can't do it. Life is out of control. I'm never going to make it. Life is hopeless. I can't do it. And what you'll find when you associate the thought with the right chakra, in some way it will be relaxing. It will just feel like they match, like, and there'll be a form of relaxation when you say these deep thoughts. Could also be in the solar plexus or in the sacral. I want to die. I don't want to be alive anymore. I don't want to experience anymore. And when you actually acknowledge it, there's a bit of relaxation that happens. But when you're in the surface thoughts, so the thoughts that rise in your mind, you're moaning about your work colleague, you're moaning about how this person's done that, or your boss has put bosses put too much work on you and they always do this, but deep down what you're feeling is that you can't do it, that it's too much, that you're overwhelmed, and it's your chakra out of balance. We as humans, the chakra goes out of balance. We have particular thoughts. We think there are thoughts and they think they're real, and we think they're real, and they're actually talking about us, and they're actually talking about the situation. If they're talking about the actual situation, so if they're actually happening, there's actually a problem, then if the chakra is balanced, you should just deal with the problem and then it's over with. When the chakra's out of balance, it's a repetitive thinking about it and keeps going back. That's how you know. And it's so amazing as you go into the body and you learn about the chakras, because you just see that it's not real and that they're not true. And then you see how like attracts like. So as you all know that I like the law of attraction and the teachings of karma. So if you've got a chakra that's always telling you, that's out of balance and always telling you can't do it, you're hopeless, it's helpless, you're going to fail, that's what your life's going to manifest it as, because that's what you're going to be drawn to, situations where you fail, situations where you're stuck, situations where you can't do it. If your chakra is in the positive, I can do it, it will work out, things will be successful, then that's what you're going to be drawn to in life. It's the way that it navigates. It's nobody's doing it. There's not a you in there that's doing it. It's all robotic. It's like a system that's set up, just like a computer. So it goes towards that which it's resonating with. So if you're like really depressed and really suffering a lot, then being with someone that's super successful and always happy is going to be challenging. Like you're not... Unless there's the desire, deep desire in you to change, then that's going to be a very difficult relationship. Let me just take a drink, I get excited. So you see that the body and mind are deeply connected, that what you think is nothing, it's not you, it's not personal to you, they're not your thoughts. Everybody has the same, everybody's set up the same. There's an area in your body that's out of balance. And you just associate it with it. Once you've associated with it and you've got used to it, so you've got used to the fact that your repetitive thoughts about work are a disbalance in the sacral chakra, say, just for an example. Once you've got used to that, you first of all allow the feeling, so you don't run away from it, you don't start telling stories to try and imagine a better future and waiting to get there and hoping you get there and imagining it to be different. You just accept it for what it is. And once you got to that stage where you're pretty accepting of it, then you can say what you want from that chakra. And what you want from that chakra is basically the opposite. So if you feel afraid that you're not going to make it, that you're going to be poor, that money is not going to work for you, then you start saying, I want money, I want to be rich, I want to be successful. And you'll notice that chakra will turn into the positive. It will turn more into a positive feeling. And this is the reconditioning of the chakra. It's not that you have to always live in the positive of the chakra, but what you're trying to do is pull it out energetically of being stuck in the negative. So you're reconditioning it. You're giving it what it wants. So what it actually wants, what you actually want, is not to be a failure and not to always be poor. What you want is you want money and you want to be successful. And feel that. Like allow yourself that. What you're doing is you're saying in a way from having a negative chakra that what you want is to be poor and what you want is to not be successful, because that's what you're drawing into you. So you move it to that, to the more positive. So that's some things you can do. Another thing you can do is chakra meditations. So you could do something like my friend, I used to go to Osho Ashram, but my friend reminded me of this Osho meditation, chakra meditations. You can just look that up, or Osho chakra, or Osho chanting chakra meditation or something. And it's like a breathing exercise with all the chakras, and it helps move the energy out of it. But there's lots of different exercises on the internet, but I particularly recommend that one. I can send you the link, Natalia. I just have to look it up. I can't do it for everyone. I will tell you the actual title. it's Osho's chakra breathing meditation. So you just need to type that in and start doing that every day. Be really committed to it, and I promise you it will make profound difference in your life if you're committed to it. But know that even your commitment to it is the solar plexus chakra, and the heart chakra, and it's God's will as to whether it happens. Like if they're really out of balance, then you're going to struggle to commit to them. It's nothing to do with you. It's just the way the robot's made up. Now, balancing the chakra system and balancing what you want doesn't mean that person is going to get enlightened. So in the chakra teachings, it's about like the chakra energy going up, and then conscious Shiva energy coming in, so Shakti energy going up, and then Shiva energy coming in, and that's an enlightened person. That to me isn't enlightenment. Enlightenment is this shift from being this body to being everything. But you could also say that the chakras are everything. Your feelings are everything. Your sights are everything. So it's a shift from looking at things personally. But often most people have to balance out their body. There's so many people that I come in contact with that come to my retreats. And on my retreats, I end up having to do a lot of the chakra work, a lot of breathing exercises, a lot of meditation. I also talk a lot about non-duality, but I have to do that work because people come to my retreats and they haven't done it. And I can't sit there and talk to them about non-duality when I see someone in emotional agony and totally stuck in that, and they can't even hear non-duality when they're in that tightness. So there's got to be a certain amount of relaxation. And just meditating and just doing psychological things isn't going to shift it. It has to be energetical work done on your body, like physical release from the body. But yeah. And it's so funny because even if I explain this, and you get like the personalities that come up and they're all confused by it, and they keep wanting the explanation again, and they don't know if they're doing it right, and so they can't do it because they're not sure if they've got it perfectly right or not. Even that I see as a chakra disbalance. That's more than likely the solar plexus out of balance, or the third eye out of balance, like overthinking, and so they can't do it because of that chakra disbalance. And they really believe that they haven't understood what I say. Like they really believe that there's a failing or lack in understanding. And until they master that, they can't do the practice. Like, so I often get that as well when I'm working with people, like they keep not understanding. And that too is chakra disbalance. But it comes up as if it's really real. Like, I don't understand. It comes up in the thoughts. I don't know what she's saying. I'm left behind. And it gives them memories of being at school and they were left behind and they couldn't keep up. And it's the same as what happened to them at school. And that's where it most probably began to go out of balance. They keep being told, you're not keeping up, Lisa. I often didn't keep up in school. Thank you, Natila. That's such a beautiful name. I'm sorry that it took me a few times to get it right. Hello, Ariel. I am another you. Hi. Yes. Hi, Niles. I have a question about healing through crystals and other therapeutic techniques. Does it slow down growth? A Course in Miracles says it keeps the problem intact. It only covers the problem. Does that mean it's better to quit all the use of that stuff, or is it good for temporary use only? Can you tell me more about the topic? Thanks. Niels Niels from Holland. Hi Niels. I don't know what the Course in Miracles says, but I see that healing yourself with crystals is something that you do in this world, and it's not about you waking up. It's not about freedom. It's about healing the body. But it's not about enlightenment. Like, so some people teach that it's about coming to enlightenment, like you balance the body and you come to enlightenment. But who comes to enlightenment? But I don't in any way see it as something like a downgrowth or something that holds you back. Only if you believe that you're going to become enlightened through crystals. Because who becomes enlightened? Who is the person that heals? Who? Which is really profound and blows your mind. Like, obviously on the human level there is healing, but on the absolute level, who is there? There is only one energy. Like, where do you begin in the world? Where do you end and the world starts? But the body can get sick. It's not real though. It's not true that the body can get sick, but the body can appear to get sick. So I think in the Course in Miracles, maybe they would say, like, you have to really see that you don't get sick or something, or there's nobody that gets sick, and then that will stop illness. But I don't believe in that. Maybe if you believe in it, it's true. I don't know how it works. But yeah, if you want to use crystals to heal you, or animals or nature, if that works, why not? But then at the same time, who gets healed? At some point, another life form is going to take you over and this body is going to die. You get all types of bodies in this world. You get bodies that are more afraid of living than dying, and then you get some bodies that are more afraid of dying than living. Multiple different types of bodies or different stories, all different combinations. Hi Laura. Hi Lisa, this is Laura. We met in Goa. Oh, nice, Laura. Let's have a look at your picture. Yeah, I think I remember you. You are a yoga teacher, if I remember correctly. I have a question about losing interest in life. For some time, I was thinking it was a natural thing that comes with non-duality. Then I thought, maybe I am just trying to escape the life, just explaining it with non-duality. Now I have discovered that there is a lot of numbness in me, probably trying to avoid pain this way. So I wonder if I have lost the interest of life because I don't feel my inner interest due to numbness, or what is actually, and how to overcome it. Would be great to investigate this a little bit. We can also call. Nice. Yes, it would be good to call. Just let me put my headset in. Okay, Laura, you can call now. Just gave me a fright. Hey, Laura.
Hey.
Hey. Thanks for calling.
Oh,
Oh, no.
thank you for.
Yeah, I actually thought you were someone else, but you are a yoga teacher. Like
Did you?
there was another lady that came to the talks in Goa who really looks like you as well,
Oh,
who
really?
also taught yoga. But maybe you were ill on those days that she came, and I thought you
Oh,
were
wow.
her. But it's
Oh, okay.
it's you.
Yeah.
Nice to see you.
Yeah. Nice to talk to you.
Are you still in India?
No, I'm back home in Estonia.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
For a month now already. Yeah. Yeah.
So let's go back. I forgot what it was that you said. Oh yeah,
Oh,
about
yeah.
numbness. Yeah.
Yeah, you can read it again. Oh, just
Yeah.
wait.
Yeah, so you were talking about numbness. So what's your intuition? Is your intuition that you think that you've got numbness? If you're feeling like life is pointless, then I would assume, or that life's got no meaning, if that's what you're thinking, and not
Yeah,
in a
that's
joyful way, not with not like as a joy that you're expressing to another person. If it's an internal monologue, then it means that there's a disbalance somewhere.
yeah. I think it just comes from this thing that at some point I discovered that I'm doing a lot of things out of fear, just to avoid loneliness.
Yeah.
So I kind of stopped doing those things. I was just like more trying to really listen what I actually want to do, and stop doing many things just because of fear.
Yeah.
And then what happened? I kind of became more silent, but I also lost a lot of interest.
Yeah.
So the same thing happened, that not like everything seems kind of pointless except waking up.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that interests me. I think I can say it that way.
And what does
Yeah.
that feel like when you say it? Does it emotionally, when you say that things are pointless?
I'm not sure. Right now maybe I'm a little bit nervous, so I'm not completely present with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Just take your time. We can just sit quietly until something comes.
It's more like when I'm looking for things that interest me, then don't really see much future. So I don't see really point in doing many things.
Yeah. That can happen as well. So what are you motivated to do?
I'm just motivated to discover myself, like my person, to discover the personal issues, maybe to heal myself, and also just be with the presence.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
what about to feed yourself and to look after yourself and make yourself healthy? Like
Yeah,
eating
this
well.
is I don't think I'm eating very well right now. Like, I'm going to the shop and I'm like, yeah, I'm hungry, but I really don't know what I want to eat. And
Yeah.
then I'm kind of very lazy about it as well right now, currently.
And do you have low energy?
I don't think I really have low energy, but I'm also not really putting it anywhere.
Yeah.
I can just sit at home all day, not even going out maybe, or
Yeah.
I mean, then I go out and then it feels nice as well. And I still do things. I mean, I'm not like alone. I meet people like friends, and I go to some events like, yeah, a little bit social events and things like this.
And you go to
So,
work?
no, like I am a yoga teacher, and I didn't really pick up any yoga classes when I got back from India, just one class a week. So I just have one class a week. Yeah, I just don't feel that I have this interest to do yoga classes right now either. It's like kind of takes too much energy for this active energy. I kind of don't have this active energy, you know. I feel like really being just in the flow or in some kind of passive mode, more like. So the active energy is quite down. Yeah.
And what does your body feel like?
Well, currently this week, it's been quite random in my body. I don't think I've been very present in my body, not very connected. There are some moments when I'm just really in this kind of bliss mode and everything is just so nice and everything, and I don't need to do anything.
Yeah.
And I'm very, very open to just being, but not now. Also this numbness, I think I'm more numb right now because a couple of days ago I went to where all this numbness topic actually came from. A couple of days ago I went to some kind of therapy session, and I just mentioned this thing that I'm quite passive in my life right now. I'm not doing too much. And the therapist, who is also very intuitive and channeling, and she just started to like feel very strong pain. And then I like we went along with this thing, and yeah, we got to some kind of stuff. And myself, I could connect it with mentally through it, and I could feel a little bit, but mainly I just felt emotionally disconnected from it.
Yeah.
I could feel like hardness in my chest. I could feel like energetic blockages,
Yeah.
very strongly in my heart and maybe a little bit in my throat. But there was absolutely no emotional connection. Like I could not reach this energy emotionally. It was just numb, and I could not come to present either. Like this numbness was kind of like
Yeah.
very strongly there, and I think this is like kind of carrying me this week,
Yeah.
today and yesterday. Yeah, actually last week as well. It kind of started last week a
Yeah.
little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So kind of
Yeah.
many things here. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why the numbness came to me, and I was just thinking like I was not really able to accept this numbness, or like just see it from the side and like really be with it, or it kind of doesn't allow me to become present.
Yeah. So just put your hand on your solar plexus. And just squeeze into your solar plexus a bit so you can feel a little bit of pain. Like, okay, I'll just show you what I'm doing. So I'm just putting my thumb in the solar plexus. It might be hard to see.
I think my video is a little bit
Slow.
slower in the past or somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, so you'll see it in a few minutes. So just put your thumb into the solar plexus and hold it. What does that feel uncomfortable?
There is one point there which is uncomfortable, yeah.
So just feel that.
Yeah.
And I just want you to think about the idea that life is pointless, that you have no meaning, that there's nothing to do, that life is boring. Just think about these things. So just let me say these sentences and see what happens in you. That you're stuck, that it's always going to be boring, that you're bored, that it's pointless, hopeless, there's nothing you can do, you don't want anything, you'd like to die. What's the point? Just think about those. And then I'm going to say the opposite in that chakra. So the opposite is that you can do things, that you're in control, that good things will happen, that life has point, life has meaning, that you feel connected, you feel like you can do things, that everything will work out. Which one feels more true to you there?
The first one felt more emotional, like there was some sadness.
Yeah.
The other one was just a little bit more uplifting.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I felt aliveness.
Yeah. Your chakra, yeah, you've got your chakras in the negative in the solar plexus. So that's why things feel like they're pointless and you can't find what you want to do. Because how can you find what you want to do if there's a feeling in your body like everything is pointless or hopeless, but you're not conscious of those thoughts? It just manifests as in not being able to make choices or have direction. It's like it manifests in a feeling of being lost or feeling that everything's boring or without point. So let's go back. So carry on squeezing it and let's go back to the negative. So now you try saying the negative of the solar plexus and see what happens in you. Do you remember what it was?
Yeah, life is pointless. There's nothing to do. Nothing is interesting. There's no point of life.
You see, and what we do with the solar plexus is if we've got a solar plexus out of balance, we easily match it up with non-duality because there is no time and like this is it and life is pointless and life is meaningless, but not in any negative way, in a really beautiful, open and expanded way that this means nothing. Like it's really freeing and beautiful. But what happens is we listen to the non-dual message and then we identify from that solar plexus point and we validate our deep fears. So this solar plexus will have been out of balance most of your life and you'll have a tendency towards that. It also can feel very angry. Do you get a lot of anger or frustration?
Can't really say anger, but yeah, frustrated or not very content with some things, people.
What do you get frustrated about? Because frustration is also the solar plexus. It's like an inability to express your anger in a correct way. So rather than turning anger and frustration into action, which is what the solar plexus is, and to power, it comes out as a flatness or a dullness or a repressed frustration that just stays stuck in the belly, or a numbness.
So what did you ask exactly?
So how does the frustration manifest? Do you get frustrated doing little things?
Yeah, sometimes I get frustrated at how people are with me. Like why they don't do like I want them to do or something like this. But
yeah, so the solar plexus is also about control. So people are very uncontrollable. So
yeah, they are.
yeah, so if you've got a dislike, so the solar plexus, like in its negative, it also wants to control everything. Like in its positive, it's this feeling of like you're in control, but not in a very restricted way, in an open way. Like so on the human level, it makes you feel out of control. Humans. So there's frustration.
Yeah.
Even this, so even my conversation with you about this will have a flavour of being pointless or not touching anything, because
it adds a little bit.
Yeah, because it will be from that perspective. So it's one of the hardest ones out of balance, because when the solar plexus is out of balance, it doesn't have any interest in this, and it feels too much. It feels too weighty. It feels like too much effort.
Yeah.
So it often doesn't have the motivation to change itself.
But what can I do to change it?
Do you want to? That's the first question. What do you want? And then it's like it's hard because you're not sure.
Well, I was trying to surrender to this. I was just thinking that maybe it's just the way how it is, and I'm not trying to change things. I'm just trying to surrender to them. So that's why I haven't been really interested in changing it.
Yeah.
As well.
Do you think that thought about not changing it is also the solar plexus? Like coming from the solar plexus? Like it's like, do you think that you've latched on to something that Muji or a teacher, maybe even me, has said because there's this exhaustion with trying to change things?
Yeah, I think I'm just thinking like this kind of things, like if I don't have interest, and I'm like, anyway, who is interested in just personal problems, and there's no person.
Yeah.
And it's,
but that's all non-dual bypassing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and I feel that I might be doing it. So
yeah, that's what you said to me is totally non-dual bypassing, because what's happening is you've got discomfort in the body, and then you're trying to fix it by saying who is looking. And who is looking is on the ultimate level, the truth, like who is experiencing all of this, and that's total freedom. But if your body keeps being in discomfort, what happens is your solar plexus goes out of balance, and then you keep seeking to avoid that discomfort. And the seeking is what covers up. The seeking is what creates the illusory eye. That identification with the chakras, and the identification with always trying to get somewhere else, and the identification with trying to arrive somewhere is what keeps the illusion going. So it's like, yes, ask those questions, who is looking, and listen to non-duality, but also see that if your body is in discomfort, then you have to deal with that. If you've got a thorn sticking out of your arm, then you've got to deal with that. Like, you've got to pull the thorn out of your arm, or if you've got a broken leg, you have to deal with it. Like, the chakras is what creates the chakras being out of balance, and the stories that you tell yourself, all the thoughts. So when the chakras are out of balance, there's a disbalance of thoughts, and then there's this identification with the thoughts, and then this creates the you, the illusory you. Like, it creates everything about you.
Yeah.
And you think
so you
it's
would say
real.
I would need to work on my healing.
I would say that you just need to investigate exactly who this person is that you believe yourself to be, rather than saying the opposite of like who is there, all there is consciousness. Like, investigate who it is that you think you are, and what it is that you want, and what it is that you're seeking for. It's too tight otherwise. So you're waiting to expand, you're waiting for this shift to happen into non-duality, but it's it's like a refuge. Like, you're using non-duality to work as a refuge for a body that's disbalanced. It's not just you, it's everybody that's seeking is disbalanced, and you have to do both simultaneously. You've got to listen to non-duality and balance the body. This is why in the traditions, that in the Vita tradition, they have all these practices like yoga and breathing and service before jnana yoga, which is what's being taught here, to balance the body. And a lot of Westerners are very lazy. Like, they come to this because they've already got a disbalance of the solar plexus, and they want to go straight to jnana yoga, and they want to go straight to the absolute, and they think that the absolute will be a refuge, and that in some point in the future they'll just flip over into this big consciousness and have a spontaneous awakening. And they live like that with a carrot in front of them. And you've got to deal with the human level of things too. It's not that the human ever becomes enlightened. It's not that the person wakes up. That's the illusion of a lot of people practicing yoga or chakras or anything. They think they'll come to balance. It's that you're relaxing the person so you can see that who you are is this pure consciousness, and there can be this energetic shift. When the person's too dense, there's too much seeking going on. There's too much avoiding going on. But I can't convince you of this. You can listen back and you've got to make up your own mind. And if you've got a disbalance of the solar plexus, then this is going to be so annoying.
Yeah. I can't, you said that if I have like pain in my body, but well, that's the thing, that I don't really have pain in my body because I feel I'm more numb to this pain if there is this pain, you know? So that's like a tricky one, like.
Yeah.
Numbness.
And the body should be alive and vital and feeling things so when you disappear, so when there is a collapse of self, it's like totally relying on the body to navigate. What we do with the illusion of self is we're always navigating from this person that we think we are. And when that person disappears, it's like driving the car. It's like the body navigates by itself. But if your body is numb, how does it navigate? You have to tune back into the body to let it navigate, let it do its thing.
Totally feel it. Like being stuck. And But then on the other time, when I really don't focus on my personal issues, I can really just open up my heart and everything, and I just feel like flying, you know? Like,
This is all just what you think. Like what you think is very confusing. The mind is very confusing. So you think that when you don't focus on your personal problems, then you just open up. So why not do it all the time?
Yeah.
It's just a story you're telling yourself.
You say it's not real. Like what I experience.
I'm not saying it's not real. I'm saying that it's a story that you're telling yourself. So if that's true, that story that you just told yourself, that you can just focus not on your problems and you can focus on space and then you open up. If that's the truth, then why don't you do it now? So that can't be the way it is. It's something that just happens. There's a grace that comes in, there's an opening up, and then your mind connects the dots and says, it's because I didn't focus on my problems. But then why not do it now? Why not focus on your problems now and open up? But you can't do it now, but your mind is convinced by a story that it wants to repeat to itself because it suits you. It suits your identity and it suits what you like to tell yourself about yourself. Sorry, I speak really quickly sometimes, but you can repeat it on YouTube. I get excited. I also think it's from working with people for many years that sometimes when I'm trying to get something out and someone doesn't want to hear it, they interrupt me a lot and then I forget what I'm trying to say. So it's like, so when I get my opportunity, I'm like, and I'm like a bulldozer. I really go for it quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. But maybe that's enough for today. But that's really beautiful that you said all this, and don't take what I say as fact. Just be open to it. Just be open to exploration. So listen to it back and just see if anything touches and see if it has an influence. And if not, then just discard it. It's not that what I say is fact or what another person says is fact. There is no fact. But some things can have a profound effect which changes the apparent cause and effect and changes the way the body does things.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Lisa, very much.
Yeah, with pleasure. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Oh, pardon me. There is lots of questions today, and I can see that I'm not going to make it through them all. So you have to send them again next session, which is, I'm here for the next 2 months or in France. So that is on, what day is it today? Is it Wednesday or Sunday? It's Wednesday. So on Sunday. Hello, Vadios. Hello, Lisa. I've just noticed that I regarded myself as a story that went to job today and was a certain way, and another colleague thought about me certain things. Yes, and there was an identification with that and a feeling that that's who you are. Hi, Colin. Hi, Mansoor. Am I right to say Spiritual beingness occurs when I am bypassing mind game activities. Yeah, but that wouldn't be the way that I say it. I can't. So there's not much of a relationship I have with that. Like I would say that beingness is right here in the forgetting of you, maybe. I don't know. Suddenly when I have the pressure to come out of these quotes, I can't do it. Hello. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Franz. If everything is a thought, why don't we all just decide to always feel good? Sounds much better than choosing to feel bad. It's not just thought, it's also energy. It's the feelings that are the killers. If your thoughts were empty without any feelings, so you could think, I hate myself and not feel bad about it, then it would be easy. But it's the thoughts and feelings. It's the feelings that gives the kick, and they're tightly connected. It's the chakra system that creates the thoughts and the feelings. And when they're out of balance, it's agony. It's painful. And they come together. And the reason that you can't decide your thoughts to always be good is because it's a habit, and habits take time to break. And then on the other level, on the ultimate level, you can't decide to do it because there is no you. You is a thought. It's something that happens or doesn't happen. It's something that begins to appear, the changing of that habit. Edith! I was going to write to you. Hello from the Congo, helping body here. Non-duality helps me to live this very strong experience. It's right without presence in my body and chakras. I couldn't see all what I see and stay here where it's terrible. Oh yeah. Yeah, I send you so much love. I can imagine it's so hardcore. So Edith is in the Congo helping with women that part of the job is women that have been raped in the Congo. I think there's a lot of women raped in the Congo as part of the war, or was part of the war. And there's a lot of AIDS that's transmitted and all sorts of difficulties. And sometimes the women are kicked out of their villages once they've been raped as a result of war. And Edith is out helping them, and this is really beautiful. But I can imagine that is really hard experience. And this is it right here, right now. So it's like there's all this trauma going on in the past and the future and all these terrible actions, but right here, this moment is actually free of it. So it's coming back to this and the detail in this. Thanks, Edith. I kept meaning to write to you, actually. Kept thinking of you. What's the name of the app? The app is Hottie Bottles. Hottie Bottles. The delivery of Hottie Bottles. Hottie Bottles. You see, hot bottles are very hot. Hottie Bot, maybe that's it. Hottie Bot. The conviction that there is the world existing independently of our body is strengthened by the observer that the body disappears when the person dies, yet the world remains to be there. Yes. That makes it stronger. The assumption that when the body dies, consciousness turns off. And the reason that we have that is because it seems like it in deep sleep, that when we go to sleep, like the consciousness turns off and the world turns off, and then when we wake up with the body, the consciousness turns back on. But in deep sleep, there is just a consciousness that is nothing, or there is nothing happening. There is non-existence, which never exists. So what we experience is going to sleep and waking up again, because non-existence never exists. So there can never be non-existence because it never exists. So non-existence is when consciousness is at rest or when consciousness twitches off. Non-existence. Hi, Carmela. Aloha. Aloha. I have to put a sun hat on and this light. MSNSNS. MSNSN. I don't know how to say your name. Hi, I saw your video on YouTube. I want to understand something if you can help me. I had a glimpse of impersonal consciousness where I wasn't anymore there and I was everywhere at the same time, where there was no time, by the way, since I search and I know that this seeker must disappear to be. But can you give some advice? I don't know what I'd give advice on. On the human level, I would advise you to become more balanced, to balance your chakras, to balance your thinking, to live a healthy, happy, human, ethical life. But that's not going to lead you to non-duality, because there is no one and there always is this consciousness no matter what. So even when you feel that you've lost it or you feel that you've had an awakening, there's still that same consciousness which is expanded. It's just when you feel like you're a person, the energy is contracted inside of this massive space and it feels like you're separate and you're small, but you're still inside this massive space. You're still this consciousness, which is the walls, which is the cliffs, which is this cloud, which is the sun, which is the sky, which is the computer. And that consciousness is everywhere and everything and is huge and endless and boundless, no matter what, contracted or not. Hi, Jesse. I can relate to Natalila, and as a guy, lots of pelvic floor tension and survival insecurity issues. Feel like I sought the route. I'll be smooth sailing. Shit, just realized I'm way behind on the stream. Yeah. Thanks, Jessie, for your comment. You're way behind. That was hours ago. Hi, Marlene. Sorry, hi, Melaine. Hi, Jan. Hi, Gina. Hey, Isabel. Hi, Devian. Hi, Wadswick. Melanie. Hi, Lisa. I feel like here that there is a recognition of the I am presence, emptiness, and yet it feels like only one half of the equation. Feels like the love side, completion, has not been realized yet. Only glimpses. Sorry, Sebastian, I'll just finish this question, but I might not have time to speak to you now. I feel a presence, and yet feels like only half of the equation. Feels like the love side, completion, has not been realized yet, only glimpses. Because the I am is not filled with love, then mental energy still runs rampant, e.g. I have just watched it for the last hour trying to formulate the right question to pose, the answer to which it hopes will liberate itself from seeking. It feels as though consciousness as mental thought will continuously reconfigure as seeking energy to try to fill the empty space with understanding or fulfillment in the play until love has filled the space. Emptiness. Is that correct? Yes. It will always seek to fill this up with time. It will always seek to actually cover up this because it fears death. Because to really be present, to really see non-duality, it's absolute death of the personal self. So it's always trying to fill it up with something. So just feel it. So where is that disbalance happening in your body, Melanie? Like, where is it happening? Where is the discomfort? So you've got the mind going around. Which chakra is out of balance? So just move your attention down to where it's uncomfortable in your body. Like, what is the root of that feeling? You can't control things, you're out of control, that you're not loved. And just find the chakra and just try to welcome in that feeling and see it for what it is. That it's all just thought, but don't ignore the bodily sensations. Hi, Lisa. Some months ago, I started to get some sporadic, pleasurable feelings in random parts of my body, similar to goosebumps when listening to your favorite song, but not exactly. With time, these feelings started to last longer and longer, last 24 hours. I've even been getting them almost the whole time. So I've become curious about it, and I would like to understand what's happening. I've been looking for an explanation in the academic world and not found anything. Now that you talk about energy flows with chakras, it kind of resonates a bit with my experience. Do you know where this sensation comes from, or where I get that information about it? It's the natural flow of the body. So it's a natural flow of the human. So what's happening is your chakras are just opening and they feel very pleasant, and it's not coming from anywhere. It's just that in the past it was closed and telling another negative story, and now it's open and telling a positive story. So it's just incredibly pleasurable. So it's beautiful. It's just a happening. You don't need to understand it. Understanding it will squash it. Just enjoy it while it happens. There's a healing happening in you, a spontaneous healing. Just enjoy the ride. Beautiful. Well, I think that's all, guys. That's all, folks. That's all, folks. That's all, folks. It used to be at the end of a cartoon. Something like that. Okay, I will see you again on Sunday at 6 p.m. French time. Yes. Thank you very much for the people that called in, opened themselves and were vulnerable, and to all the questions from people as well. I appreciate it, and I love you, and I wish you everything. Bye-bye.